Hey friends, welcome to the channel. If you want to know if Speakly is the right app for you to learn languages and you don't want to waste any more time using apps that are boring and just don't work, keep watching. Los geht's. My name is Dustin. I'm an IT project manager from Germany. On this channel we create content that helps us to be more productive, to learn new things, especially languages, and to live a happier and more fulfilling life. Today we're gonna revisit Speakly after I've used it now for over a year within my learning stack and also see what's new. Further, we'll also have a look at its limitations and if it really teaches you speaking. I've heard about this app the first time through Days and Words, which is a great language learning YouTube channel I can highly recommend. I like the honesty and critical mind of Le Monde as well as the practical advice. I already got a full stack of apps and things I used, but this one just sounded too good to not give it a try. I'm always keen on finding out how to improve my learning and also about trying things out for you and test them on this channel to be able to share my experiences. In this video, I will again first explain what role Speakly plays in my language learning stack based on scientific research. Then we will have a look at the app, how it works, and very important, have a look at the new features. While doing that, we will review the pros and cons as well as the pricing. In the end, I will conclude things to make your decision easier if you should use this app or not. But before we start, let's have a nice sip of coffee. Los geht's. The app's focus hasn't changed and lies still on learning the statistically most relevant words in real sentences and context. This is what other apps often screw up completely. You don't need to know all the names of different animals, etc., but words you can actually use in a normal conversation. You also learn it in the order of statistically most used to less frequently used, and this way you make quicker progress and can start easier to communicate. Underlying is also a spaced repetition algorithm, which is proven to be a great way to retain things longer and make them stick in your long-term memory. It means actually that you repeat something at a specific point in time when you're just about to forget it. The interval for the next revision is then even longer because you will also be able to retain it for a longer period of time and thus cement it in your brain. Grammar is clearly not in focus because it will come naturally. Of course, we can use the hypotheses of noticing and learn some grammar, but it shouldn't be our main source of learning. If you anyway want to read about a specific feature of the language, Speakly also offers a complete grammar section for each language within the app, or also the online version, of course. In most of my videos I preach how important it is to consume massive amounts of comprehensible input and thus immerse yourself into the language you want to learn. Speakly also offers, for that matter, immersion material like listening and reading exercises, as well as music recommendations to boost your comprehension skills, while at the same time also to give you a motivation to actually learn the language. Nevertheless, this app doesn't have the main focus on reading and listening like, for example, LingQ does, because there's only very limited content available. On the other hand, if you don't get bored easily by repeatedly listening to the same content, you'll be able to make really fast progress. So you can either use it in the browser version or as smartphone app. Since I use mostly the app version, let's start with that. Later we will also have a quick look at the browser version. Now let's have a look at the app together. So this is the apps button. Let's start it. I've logged myself out. So this is how it looks like when you create a new account. So you click on Get Started. Then you have to choose the language you want to learn. And these are the available languages. So you could learn English, Estonian, Finnish, French, German, Italian, Russian, and Spanish. And you might wonder why there is Estonian and maybe also Finnish, because those are more like niche languages, while the other languages being all pretty big in terms of the number of speakers and also the number of learners. And the reason for that is that the company is based in Estonia, which is also close to Finland. Which is just a random side fact. So we want to learn, for example, now French, so we click it. Then we have to choose our mother tongue, and as you can see, there are more mother tongues available, or different mother tongues available than the languages you can learn. And let's say we speak English, and then you can set a reminder to get reminded when you have to learn, and for that you can choose between different options. But yeah, let's skip this for now, it depends. And then you have to create an account and sign in. And this is then how it looks like once you have logged yourself in, or once you have created your account, to be more precise, and you'll get to the starting page, and which is pretty cool. You have a really big welcome, let's go picture. So you really know what to do. Then you click on it, and you can either put in your proficiency level if you know it, or you can take a placement test to make sure to start with the right level for you. And this is how it looks like for the main language that I'm learning with this app, Italian. On the top left, you see your streak. So how many days you have. I have 22 days only because my streak broke on several occasions, and also decided to do a short pause. So don't stress yourself out too much over streaks. And the nice thing is that you'll also be in the gold club, which means that you have a streak of 7 days or more, where you have the chance to win a 100 euro plane voucher every week. I'm not that much for flying because of the environment, but I think it's a nice gesture. And you see also your best streak, and you see the number of words on top, you see the language you're learning, and you see the chapter. What does that mean? So the whole app is structured in a way that it reflects the CEFR framework, so the common European framework of reference for language acquisition or language learning, or for language, I'm not sure, which says that you have different levels. You have the A level, the B level, and the C level. And A is beginner, B is intermediate, and C is advanced. And in this way you would also progress through this app. So you have beginner 1, beginner 2, beginner 3, and in each of those beginner stages you'll have 3 different chapters. And once you have finished all of those, then you would progress further and go to the intermediate ones, and then you would go to the advanced ones. I'm currently at advanced 1 at the very first chapter, and yeah, it will take a long time until I have finished all the words. I have 84% of all everyday situations, but the further you progress, the slower it gets. And yeah, advanced 3 would be then 4,000 words, the last chapter. Okay, but yeah, I mean, that's the law of diminishing returns, right? Okay, then you can see your tasks for today, and that's pretty cool. So to keep your streak, you can set goals, daily goals, to have a specific number of points you want to achieve. And this is a new thing. So back in the days, it was like you need to learn a specific number of words per day, and now that has changed a bit. So it doesn't matter which activity you are doing, but it just matters that you do something and that you achieve your points. And all the activities within this app will grant you points, or will reward you with points. The classical activity, of course, is to build up your vocabulary, to learn words in context. Then you can also review words that you have already learned. You can do those listening exercises, more on that later. You can do live situations, and you can also listen to a song in the target language. And that's super useful, I think, because if you have a stressful day, for example, and you can't really make active time for studying, then you can at least listen to something, maybe on the commute to work or so. And this way you have less excuses not to do your learning, because I think it's super important to do each day a little bit to get fluent in a language, because we are in it for the long game. Okay, that's the thing. We will do the exercises later, but let's first quickly review the rest of the app. You have the word bank, which consists of all the words you have already learned, more or less. And you can see here also the different levels. So 2133 I know, and there are 18 that are not that solid and 5 that that are super weak, that I haven't really repeated so far. And you can also mark words as your favorite if you want to emphasize on learning them, or if you want to recap them later. Good. That's all about that. And then you have the explore section, which consists all of the different exercises. If you want to review a specific one, for example, you can also see how often you have done them. So let's see, you have the live situations, which I haven't done in a while, so I really need to do them. You have the listening exercises here, and how often you have listened to them. This is pretty cool. You have the music section, which consists of all the different titles that you have already unlocked, which you can listen to again. But remember, the app is connected to Spotify, so if you don't have a Spotify subscription, then it won't work because of copyright reasons. They can't give you access to those songs just like that. And then last but not least, you have of course the grammar section, which can be useful if you want to look up specific things. So if you, for example, want to have a look at the present, how it works and how it gets built, and then you have here an explanation, and you will find most of the relevant grammar parts here. But of course, this app doesn't emphasize or doesn't focus mainly on the grammar part. And last but not least, you have here this page where you can see your statistics, which I find super useful. So everything at a glimpse. You see the number of words, you see the percentage of language mastery, you see further statistics, the active days in total you had. So I'm learning for 436 days now in total, the total amount of sessions you did, the total number of points, the longest streak, the streak calendar, and so on. Super useful. I really like that. Okay, now that we have reviewed everything, let's have a look at the exercises in detail. We start with build your vocabulary, which is the classic exercise. Let's have a look. So this one is just about translating what's in there. So you have a part of the sentence, il suo cellulare è, and then I have out of service, out of order. That's something you need to fill in. And I don't know. Out of order, fuori servizio? I'm not sure.
Il suo cellulare è fuori servizio.
Sorry. And as you might have heard already, you have a computer voice here, which isn't perfect. But I have to say, this hasn't been the case at the beginning. So after I have crossed, I think, something like 1,000 words or so, it changed, and I didn't have a real human voice but a computer voice, and this is unfortunate and it could be better, but more on that later. Okay. And then you see you've completed your daily goal, number of points, daily streak, and it will send you right back to the starting page. Let's see, so we haven't done all the exercises. For example, if there's a new phrase, you will just see it like this. And also the words that are new or the parts that are new will be marked, or at least in that combination. So for example, scendere and alla and prossima and fermata, all those words I had before. But if you have them in a specific order, in a specific placement, then they will also be marked and set in a phrase. Scendi alla prossima fermata e prendi un autobus per l'aeroporto. Oops.
Scendi alla prossima fermata e prendi un autobus per l'aeroporto.
And this one is a different exercise, so you see the whole phrase in English. I'm really happy I stayed single, feminine. Then you click on tab to continue, and then you need to fill in also the blanks, but you have always the first letter that you of the words, and then you don't have to fill them by writing, but you have to fill it by speaking, which is super cool. So let's see. Sono così felice di essere something with rimanere nubile. Di essere rimasto. Sono così felice di essere rimasto nubile.
Sono così felice di essere rimasta nubile.
Of course, it's feminine, so it's rimasta. And then you need to repeat it. Sono così felice di essere rimasta nubile.
Sono così felice di essere rimasta nubile.
Very cool. Okay, now let's have a look at the other exercises. So review words is the next one, and which is really cool. So you can review specifically the weak and medium words, or you can also do other sessions, but let's do it like this. Then it's building them. And then you can either do flashcards or you can do listening exercises. So let's do flashcards because we haven't had that yet. And as you can see, there are blanks, and as with a typical flashcard, you now need to come up with the right phrase. So get off at the next stop e prendi un autobus per l'aeroporto. Scendi alla prossima fermata e prendi un autobus per l'aeroporto.
Scendi alla prossima fermata e prendi un autobus per l'aeroporto.
And there you go. And this way you would progress through all of the flashcards. Okay, now let's have a look at the next exercise. So you can also do a listening exercise, as already mentioned, and this is the part of comprehensible and compelling input. You have a text which is about a specific topic, which you can see on top. One of the most important things in overcoming obstacles in life is a positive attitude. And this way you are already in the right mood or in the right context in order to understand the text. And you can just listen to it when you click on play, and you can also follow the text while listening to it, and I find that super useful. You can also change the speed to make it a bit slower. You can also view the translation at the same time while listening to it, or you can also just say, I want to listen to the audio while not seeing the text. So this is super cool. Okay, now let's have a look.
Ciao, sono Barbara. Benvenuto nella nostra esperienza di ascolto. In questo esercizio imparerai ad essere positivo. Ascolta attentamente e prova a vedere quanto ci capisci. La nostra attitudine.
As you can already hear, she speaks very clear and not too fast, which is super good, especially if your comprehension is not that good yet. And also it's not a computer voice here, so which is really good. So the listening exercises are really of a good quality, and you have a wide range of different topics. Okay, now the next exercise, life situations. Those are specifically designed to prepare you for speaking. And on top you see already the topic, una buona offerta. You and your friend are cutting onions in the kitchen. Tears are streaming down your faces. What mighty onions. But this French onion soup is so worth it. And yeah, so you have already the context, which is super cool. You can read it.
Sai, ho cominciato a pensare. Quando è stato?
And you can also practice it. And this looks like that.
Sai, ho cominciato a pensare. Quando è stato il nostro ultimo viaggio a Venezia?
Was a long time ago. I think it was 2011. And then you also, like in the other exercises, need to fill out the blanks, but by speaking. È stato tanto tempo fa, penso nel 2011. È stato tanto tempo fa, penso nel 2011. It's loading.
È stato tanto tempo fa, penso nel 2011.
2000, non 2000. È stato tanto tempo fa, penso nel 2011.
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 This is really unfortunate. I'm pretty sure that I said it right and it doesn't check it. So yeah, in general it's pretty good, but with numbers, as it seems, not that good.
Ho appena trovato una buona offerta di un'agenzia viaggi.
Yeah,
Ci-
and this way you would progress through the exercise. I find them pretty useful, to be honest, but on the other hand, yeah, they're very static, so you need to keep that in mind. And then the next one and last one is actually to listen to music. And as I've already teased a bit, you need to have Spotify Premium subscription, otherwise it won't work. And yeah, it's super cool to have also songs to connect better to the language and yeah, to expose yourself more to it. And you have a wide variety of different songs, so it's from classics over pop to rap, and yeah, you have all the stuff. And if we would start a song, it would look like that. So we click on play and it would load. And then the song is on, but at the same time you're already back at the app. So the integration is very good. Now let's have a look at the browser version, which I'm not using, but which has also received a makeover. Everything can be found now on one screen. Definitely a great alternative to the app version. If you want to practice on your computer, make sure that you got a mic connected, that you can do the speaking exercises as well. To have a bigger screen really allows to have such a good overview of all the relevant parts. Other than that, functionality wise, it's basically the same. Just use what works best for you. All the improvement ideas I had for the last time have been fully implemented. But what I think would make the app even better would be to add some gamification in order to use that to make it even easier to stick to the app. Of course, it's important to find the right balance here and to not overdo it. Another thing that could further improve the app is to have better voices that read out loud the text. As mentioned earlier, when I progressed through Italian at a higher level, there weren't real voices anymore, but computer voices, which doesn't have to be bad, but it would be cool to have better ones. Nowadays, there are so many possibilities. And last but not least, to use AI to further improve the app by having, for example, dialogues that are more flexible. Right now there's only one version that is right, but in a real conversation you could in theory answer in many ways. And if this could be incorporated into the app, then you could prepare yourself even better for real conversations. So Speakly has different pricing models. You can choose between monthly, yearly and a lifetime membership. So I have chosen the lifetime membership because then you only pay once and you can use it, yeah, for your whole life. So I think that's really useful because I don't like recurring costs, but yeah. Just try out the free version or just get a monthly subscription and test it for a month, and then you can decide further. Same question as 1 year ago. Will this app get you fluent? The answer is no. No app alone will get you fluent. But they can accompany you on your language learning journey, and this app is still the best I have found so far to prepare you actually for speaking. It provides many useful exercises and focuses only or solely on what's important. The speech recognition is pretty good and it uses many principles that are known to be important for language learning. If you want to be able to speak fluently, you need to speak. There's no way around it, even if it's super terrifying at the beginning. Don't make excuses and dabble around too much. Nevertheless, you can stack the decks in your favor, and this app can help you with that. And last but not least, when it comes to comprehension skills, if reading and listening to the same content over and over again is boring for you, or also the stories at the beginning are already too advanced, then it would be a good idea to add another app or resource to spice up your learning a bit into that direction. If you like this video and want to see other language learning app reviews, I got the right playlist for you here. Please let me know how you prepare yourself for your first conversation in a foreign language and what you think of Speakly. If you found the video useful, please leave me a like and a subscription to the channel, and to not miss anything going forward, click also on the notification bell. Thank you so much for watching and see you the next time.